for an event that really appealed to the illustrators at SCBWI, and to the authors. The great thing about graphic novels is that they are a really tight combination of words and pictures, even more so than picture books. And it gives somebody the ability to either totally create one on their own, or write one, or illustrate one with another writer. And I also think it's one of the few places where a publishing house will take a manuscript that's already got a writer and illustrator working together. With picture books and such, you get told again and again, don't send in a manuscript with an illustrator already working on it. Graphic novels, there's a bit more leeway on that, because you're co-storytellers, I think, even more so than you are on a picture book. She's going to be speaking.
She's one of the keynoters.
Because she's a great novelist, a prose writer,
yes.
But she's a huge fan of the comic book format.
That's right.
And so she had the background and understanding of how to write differently.
Yes.
Because you can't write the same way. And I think in a lot of cases it's a matter of forming a partnership. Sometimes you don't meet your illustrator ever, don't even speak to them. We're on a graphic novel, I think. Depending on how you do it, it can either be just like that, or it can be a much more hand-in-glove experience where the illustrator will come and say, you've got these words here, and why do they need to be there when it's already being shown in the picture? They have become much more movie-driven, and it's rare to hear someone's thoughts in the movie.
No Holden Caulfield stuff going on. Well, and so the illustrator is now slapping away the hand of the writer.
It can be, yeah, but I think that's the power of learning to write a graphic novel, is learning what words to use when it teaches you to be very spare in your writing and really justify every word you use, and that's a skill that you can then come back and take to your novels.
What's interesting about Cynthia is she's made graphic novels of her own existing novels, her own series, Tantalized series.
They're kind of
they're offshoot
stories.
Side stories. They're original.
They're both featuring the stories of another character from the novel. And
so it's the same.
It's the same happenings about them, but seen from their perspective.
Oh, I'm glad you made that distinction.
It's a brilliant way of doing it, and you don't get bored, because there are things that you didn't know about happening to this character that are happening to that. What is it called? The one is Kieran's story, which is one of the male characters.
Kieran's story is the first graphic novel based on Tantalized, her original graphic novel.
And Tantalized has a female protagonist, but for the graphic novel, there's a male protagonist in the same world, and kind of a side story from that. So it's a really interesting way to do it. She didn't just graphic novelize an existing story, which has been done and done successfully, and it's not a bad thing, but it's really interesting. She decided to make it something new.
Something new, a new piece of fiction
tightly, yes.
With a new story. Now, like you, Cynthia has been a fan of comic books since she was a little kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she really gets the genre, and she's kind of a good person to talk on this topic.
She is. She's great.
And she's, of course, a really great writer, and she's fun to talk to about writing, but I think she has a special fascination for these visually driven, and wants to do more of them, doesn't she?
I think
she's done two.
I'm sure she.
And Ming has been her collaborator on both of the.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.